we're looking into that radar scope just west of 45, and that's where the National Weather Service does have that active tornado warning until 9:30 this morning.
Yeah, so right along the line of storms, we throw on that couplet like Chita was talking about. It basically shows us how the wind is moving within that line of storms, and anytime we see an area of green in a sea of red or vice versa, an area that's moving in opposition to the general wind flow, that's when we kind of identify an area that might be producing a vortex. So a vertical motion of wind that's reaching towards the ground. So green means that the wind is moving towards the radar, red away from the radar. And basically when we see that little area that's moving against the general flow of the storms, that's when we start to get concerned. So yeah, we are picking that signature up there on velocity. You can see the main radar signature there showing some pronounced line of storms that are moving through, garnering quite a bit of intensity, rainfall rates within these storms, right around about an inch of rain per hour. So definitely some torrential rain picking up with these systems, and we can even try to see what other components we pick up from these storms. Yeah, so the height of these storms right now, not too large in size. So it really is the wind that's producing the main concern and the threat for severe weather. A lot of these storms just upwards of 10,000, maybe getting up to 20,000 feet. Some more robust thunderstorms that we get concerned with are right around 30,000 feet. So not a whole lot of potency, and it just shows you the power of wind and all of the hazards that it can bring.
Yeah, and really we were anticipating with this front to have more of a wind damage component. We were expecting wind gusts upwards of 55 to 60 miles per hour. And with that shear or the rotation, the clashing of the warm, humid air that we have in place to the dry, cooler air behind this, that's what's giving us that potential. We're also detecting within that cell almost an inch in diameter of hail. So that hail size is also picking up in the core of that cell. So again, it's traveling around 20 to 30 miles per hour, west to east. And so again, by 9:30, this tornado warning will expire. But basically what you want to do if you are in Montgomery County from Pinehurst, potentially stretching even into the Woodlands, you can see that's the most eastern exterior of that box from the National Weather Service. You want to move into the most interior portion of your home. That's where you want to try not to be around any windows, anything that could fall, or you would be around any debris, especially on the outside. That's where you want to, that's where you need to seek shelter. That's where you need to limit anything that could potentially be in harm's way. Again, this was a cell that was near Pinehurst. It's moving east around 20 to 30 miles per hour. This is potentially just for the extreme northwest portion of Harris County, southern Montgomery County until 9:30 this morning. And this severe thunderstorm, again, basically, I want to say almost came out of nowhere at this point. This was traveling so fast, and it's the intensity, and again, those strong southerly winds and the combination of that cool, dry air behind it that produced some of these really strong winds. So it's some of the straight line winds that originally we were expecting, but this should be a really quick mover. That's just because this cold front is extremely quick moving as well, and this is going to be a real severe component once it shifts off to the east in Louisiana. What Kim's doing right now is we're trying to find the hail detected. We did have reports of that in the cell out of Pinehurst that was almost about an inch in diameter, so we were going to put that hail detector on there from the radar to see what we could show you here on air. But now,
yeah, and the rain component is really, it's been pretty limited thus far. So rainfall rates have picked up quite a bit with the passing of the storm, especially near the cell. About an inch that's come down in just the last hour or so that storm, the big band has been pushing through here. And I want to get to some max sustained winds because that's something that's been really highlighted with this band of straight line wind that's pushing through here. So yeah, we have already seen those wind gusts like we talked about picked up in the area at 44 miles an hour. We've clocked in wind gusts at 43 miles an hour for Bush, 44 for Hobby, 43 for Huntsville, and that'll certainly start to get us concerned when it comes to the potential for some shear to take place and some rotation to happen. Remember, an EF1 tornado starts at 65 miles an hour, so we could certainly see that that potential with the rotation that has been highlighted there by the National Weather Service for that tornado warning.
Yeah, and so Kim Castro and I are tag teaming this because as we were watching the radar earlier this morning, we were looking at some of these rainfall rates, and it's not the rain so much as far as with this cold front, but you can see it as far as the two different air masses colliding together. We've been talking about that wind advisory that was in place this morning, those strong southerly winds. We were expecting the potential of straight line winds, so gusts upwards of 55 to 60 miles per hour. But now we have the cell that now has the potential to see rotation. Now we've looked inside the radar scope, and it did look like towards Pinehurst that potentially we could have a little bit couplet there. But I want to show you the big picture on our radar. This is moving really quickly. So it's 9:19 right now. We have 11 minutes with this tornado warning in place. So if you are in Montgomery County, anywhere from Magnolia extending towards the Woodlands, it is time to take shelter. Seek the most interior portion of your home. You want to limit how close you get to any windows, potentially if there were to be damage, any debris that would come into your home. Otherwise, this is going to be a quick mover as far as rainfall rates. Some of you may shake out today with 1/4 of an inch, but some of the rainfall rates inside could potentially produce upwards of 1 inch of rain. So really quick moving, but strong cells attached with the line of showers and thunderstorms. So again, this tornado warning is in effect for 9:30. It was because radar detected some rotation towards Pinehurst. Once this pulls off to the east, if this line continues to hold together, not out of the question, northern Harris County, southern Montgomery County may still see a threat for this over about the next hour. So we're going to have to watch this really closely. But this is traveling west to east, and after about 10:30, 11 o'clock this morning, the threat for any weather at all is pretty much then going to be to our east. But over the next 10 minutes, it's now 9:20, we're going to have to watch the cell right out of Pinehurst, again, that's traveling west to east, but heading towards now probably the Woodlands over the next 15 minutes. Now, we have been tracking some of the potential for hail. We did have a report within the cell that it was close to about 1 inch in diameter. So we're going to continue to watch that for the potential. But Kim, I'll send it on over to you.
Yeah, so right now, like you mentioned, Chita, parts of Harris and Montgomery County, so upwards of 55,000 people under this polygon. The threat for that tornado until 9:30 as of now. Now this may be extended. This polygon may shift as this line of storms continues to push from west to east. The main reason why we're seeing this rotational aspect now into these storms, you'll notice the wind particles there strong. They have been consistently pumping out wind gusts at 30, 40, even close to 50 miles an hour out of the south. Now you'll notice the main band here is pushing from west to east, so that wind is working in total opposition with the general flow of the wind that's been coming out of the south. So the clash of the wind is leading to that rotational aspect, which is why the National Weather Service has issued that tornado warning for the potential of the rotation at the base of the thunderstorm cell to start to reach the ground. We've been watching this area really closely. Like we talked about, what we watch for is an isolated area of wind that is not cooperating with the general flow of the storms. You'll notice the majority of this area is seeing red, which means that wind is moving away from the radar. It's moving towards the northeast. But there is a little pocket right there that's not doing the general consensus wind flow that we're seeing from the rest of the band of the storms. In fact, it's moving towards the radar, which signals that we could see some rotation there that might be reaching the ground, which is why you were asked to, again, get to the lowest floor of your home, first level, and get to an interior room and just stay protected until this warning is lifted and until we get clearance. Again, that's for the next 8 minutes as of right now that we do have that warning in effect. Now, Chita was talking about some hail that was potentially detected in this area. I have been watching the hail detector. Right now, radar doesn't appear to be picking up on that. However, reports on the ground are incredibly invaluable. So if we have been hearing that and seeing that, boots on the ground, just keep that in mind that that could be another component of these thunderstorms, that they are potentially producing hail in addition to the very strong wind and in addition to the hazard of the rotation of a possible tornado that has been detected on radar. And we're waiting to see if that will be confirmed later on in the day. But you could certainly see that the band of showers, we saw some shower activity a little bit earlier on in the morning, but that was just ahead of the main energy, the main front that's now passing through, bringing us the showers and the isolated thunderstorms. A very thin line, but it's a line that packs a lot of punch, and as it pushes through, it has the potency and the potential to bring us that severe threat. I want to get back to velocity just to show you if we see any other couplets surfacing in and around the area, because of course, as this band pushes through, it does have, you can notice exactly where that band is, in fact, very well defined there on velocity. And there are a couple of different areas that are showing some potential shifting in winds, and that's wind shear that might give us the hazard of some rotation. So we will be keeping a very close eye, at least for the next hour or so. These showers are going to be moving out of the area very quickly. After that, it is going to be a much calmer condition.
Exactly.
Yeah, but for now, we kind of just have to keep our eyes very closely on that thin line of storms.
We do, and you know, it's moving so quickly. Kim, we were watching this out of Austin this morning, moving out of Dallas, Fort Worth, and it was very similar where how quickly the line of showers and thunderstorms that are moving, we could easily see something quickly spin up and then it quickly die down. So this warning is in effect until 9:30. It's 9:24. If we do get a tornado that touches down, or if we don't, we could still see wind gusts within the cell that could cause some straight line wind damage. So you still want to take this very seriously. If you are in Montgomery County right now towards Pinehurst, here's Magnolia, Conroe, the Woodlands, you do want to seek shelter in the most interior portion of your home. You want to stay away from windows, anything that could break or that could become dangerous. Of course, outside, you definitely want to seek shelter at this point, because this, again, is the type of scenario, even if a tornado doesn't touch down, there is potential there for some really strong wind gusts, upwards of 50, 55 plus miles per hour that could do some straight line wind damage, even if we don't get a tornado out of this. But as far as right now, we do have a tornado warning, active conditions. Let me zoom on in to show you exactly where this is. So here's Magnolia, here's Pinehurst, here's Oklahoma, here's the Woodlands. The line of thunderstorms that we're tracking is traveling from west to east. So this is going to be a threat, again, with this tornado warning, at least over the next 4 minutes. But even as it continues to travel west to east and it continues to enter into this warm, humid, humid conditions, so the atmosphere is ripe to see some thunderstorms being produced, we could easily see another spin up or straight line winds that are capable of doing almost just the same type of damage with those wind gusts around 55 to 60. So this is the cold front that we were anticipating this morning. It is moving rather quickly still, so still by 10:30, 11 o'clock, it should be to our east, and that is going to lead to sunny skies later this afternoon. But as far as the threat goes for this tornado warning, this is becoming a very active situation, even after a morning where we just saw a few showers across the area and we really didn't see much play out of this. It just takes one spin up, and that's what can cause and create all of that damage, to uproot some trees, cause power outages, do damage across your home and kind of the outskirts as well. So again, here's the location. There's Magnolia, Pinehurst. We're interrupting Great Day Houston right now because we do have an active tornado warning from the National Weather Service until 9:30. It's 9:27. Most of the area just seeing some light showers. So if you're in the heart of Harris County or south of, even from Katy to Cypress, you're probably getting some nice downpours at this point. You may be dealing with some pretty breezy winds, but we do have an active tornado warning. And so again, right in the southernmost portion of Montgomery County, it is time to seek shelter and go to that most interior portion of your home. As this travels west to east, we should start to see this break down just a little bit, but we're going to still have to keep our guards up and kind of be on a severe weather watch potential over about the next hour, hour and a half. So here's Oklahoma, there's Pinehurst, and this is actually where the cell was originally detected, radar detected, of having the potential of any kind of spin or any kind of circulation there. And at this point now, as it shifts more west to east, it's really in Montgomery County. And the line of thunderstorms here expected to travel right over 45. So we're going to have to watch that closely as it moves into right across the Woodlands and in towards Spring, again, right over 45, probably over the next 15 to 30 minutes. At this point, that cell was moving out of Pinehurst around 20 to 30 miles per hour. We did have reports of the potential of hail actually within that cell, almost as much as about an inch in diameter. So we are going to continue to watch that. Now, these rainfall rates really dramatically increased. You know, Jen, we went from just a few spotty showers to some almost blinding rain across Decker Prairie. This is heading towards the Woodlands. So now we have a lot to monitor areas west and northwest of town, especially on the roadways.
Yeah, I mean, dangerous situation for anyone to be out on the roads is just not advised at this point in time. Exactly what Chita just said. When we head up to the north side of town, especially to the northwest, up by Pinehurst and heading toward 45 in the Woodlands area, that's where we're going to advise that you stay off of the roadways. Parts of 99 right now, not only just saturated, but partly dangerous situation if we have a tornado warning in full effect in that area. Conroe right now through Panorama Village coming down very hard on 45, so it's not like you can't drive through heavy rain showers, but it isn't advised when we have the combination of those treacherous wind conditions, tornado possibility, plus the rain showers. Right now you can see that in that area as I take you up to 242, this is in the Conroe Woodlands area. As you make your way in or outbound, those drivers are moving at a pretty good pace, but again, if you have any plans and you can hold them off until the tornado warning bypasses and we can get in the clear, that would be heavily advised, because we do not want any major issues for emergency crews or for yourself to be in a dangerous situation. We have the Houston TranStar cameras scouring all parts of Houston at this point in time. You can see that Katy Freeway is wet, and overall we're just going to throw it back to the meteorologist so we can concentrate on the tornado warnings.
You know, Jen, it's been like that. You know, all morning long we have been tracking the line of showers and thunderstorms outside of Austin across over I-35. But we have such a warm and humid atmosphere in place that right when that line got here, you know, it just took one thunderstorm to turn severe on us. Now that tornado warning did expire, so it is no longer in place. We will wait and see, though, the damage, if any, that has been produced from this, and of course let you know. But we will be we're really on standby for not only the potential of an isolated tornado, but even these straight line winds, and that was in the forecast originally, the potential of wind gusts upwards of 55, 60 miles per hour. If anything like that does start to materialize, we will break in right away to help you out. Until then, about a quarter to a half inch of rain. We got to get through about 10:30 this morning, and the line that we're tracking will be to our east. Kim Castro and I are right here. We're tag teaming all morning through lunchtime today. So if anything does happen, of course, we will break in and let you know first thing. I'll send it back. We'll have more after the break. Hey, good morning. I'm meteorologist Chita Craft. Just about 15 minutes ago, we were under an active tornado warning, and it's not out of the question that we could see more warnings evolve because the line of thunderstorms that we're tracking is moving so quickly into this warm, humid air mass that's in place. That cold front behind it has two colliding air masses, and that's why we could briefly see some spin up. Even hail was actually detected out of that cell from Pinehurst. We didn't see any radar estimates, radar indicated of that, but we did have some reports of that from the National Weather Service. So the line that's producing the most amount of rain and potentially the strongest winds, we're talking winds upwards of 50, 55 plus miles per hour, is the line stretching from I-10 just now east of Katy, right through Cypress into Jersey Village, and now crossing over towards portions of I-45 into Spring. So that's right through the heart of Harris County and then pushing into portions of Montgomery County as well. So notice, Conroe, most of those thunderstorms are weakening on a big scale, but this will be it. So once the thunderstorms are to our east by 10:30, 11 o'clock latest, that is it for the rain for today. Now, I do think everyone is at least going to pick up at least about a quarter to a half inch of rain, but we could pick up now isolated amounts, maybe upwards of an inch of rain. Some of this is coming down so hard, and some of these thunderstorms have really materialized and blossomed just over about the past 30 minutes, and that's where that tornado warning came from. Notice not a lot of lightning attached to this. So here's Monteville, here's Hempstead, right along 290. There's one lightning strike for you, but it is right now the rain that's moving across the area. Now it's really quick moving, but where it is pouring, it is blinding, pouring rain. Also probably within these cells, looking at wind gusts again upwards of about 50 to 55 miles per hour. So if we do see another spin up, it is going to be very quick. This is a quick line of thunderstorms that's moving through the area. And that's basically what was originally forecasted. Some straight line winds capable of producing some really strong wind gusts. But we are going to be have to be mindful once the line of thunderstorms crosses over any areas of water, especially once we get towards the bay, of any water spouts that then could transition to potential tornadoes if they do touch the ground. Even the one out of Pinehurst, I'll zoom in a little bit tighter here, where that original cell was that we were tracking that potentially had some rotation attached to it. Then that moved towards the Woodlands. What happened though, it did break apart just a little bit. So here's Klein. Here's Oak Ridge North, there's 45, here's the Woodlands, and notice how that cell, it gradually started to weaken just a little bit, and that was enough to expire the tornado warning. Now, it's still going to be strong enough to produce some extremely strong winds, but basically, Tomball, you're just on the western edge of it. So there's kind of the areas that we're monitoring for you. Now, I'll zoom in towards Jersey Village. This was one area, I'll put the velocity on, that we were monitoring. We now have Pat in, Kim Castro is in house, so we are all tag teaming. This is a live report, so we're going to take our time and kind of show you what we are watching here in house for you. But it did almost look like we could have had some weak rotation. That threat doesn't look as strong at this point, so that's a good sign also that the cell is weakening. It's also moving really quickly. So putting the rain back on the radar so you can kind of see where we're tracking the heaviest rain. Jersey Village, it is pouring over your area. So if you're in Jersey Village right now, you know what I'm talking about. Also some really strong winds. Addicts, I'll zoom into you right along I-10. This is another area that we're seeing some really heavy rainfall right along I-10 westbound. To show you the big picture, and I'll put this into motion for you again, I'm even going to show you the back edge side of this. As hard as it was coming down earlier this morning from Austin, Waco into Dallas, this is the back edge side. So, and really anticipated earlier, we were expecting a severe weather outbreak to our north from Dallas, Fort Worth, and then pushing into Louisiana after they really got to warm up here for the first portion of the day. And that's where they are still seeing that active severe thunderstorm warning. Now here locally, because we did see that strong thunderstorm materialize and a tornado warning out of it, we can't rule that out again, can we? All right, so let me zoom in across portions of 290. This is just sitting west of Spring. I'm actually going to put this into motion for you, so I'm going to track this little line, put it moving about 25, 30 miles per hour, and show you the track here. So Spring Valley into Hunters Creek, I think right around 10 o'clock this morning. Bel Air Junction into Houston about 10:12, and notice by 10:30 it should start to be moving east of kind of even the metro area, and by 11 o'clock that's when this line really shifts off to the east. All right, so to show you some of our, let me show you some of the rainfall rates that we have seen over the past 3 hours. And I'm just going to do this live for you. This is how we see our radar estimates. These are not the official reports, but over the past 3 hours, take a look. Western Harris County, you've seen about an inch of rain, 7/10 of an inch just sitting west of Conroe. I'll show you here from Waller County, Walker County, and even portions of Fort Bend County just south of Katy. So anywhere from 1/10 of an inch to 1/2 an inch, 7/10 of an inch. But really remember where it was pouring rain, where we actually had that active tornado warning right out of Pinehurst and then pushed towards Jersey Village. We've seen an inch of rain over the past 3 hours, and probably most of that was really over just about the past hour. Let's see, yeah, from about 8:50. It's 10 till 10 right now, 9:50, so just over the past hour. Okay, let's put this in also to future track so you can see that by 11 lunchtime today, this is all going to be out of here. So this is 10 o'clock. I'm going to walk you hour by hour. This is 11 o'clock this morning, and the line of thunderstorms is now shifting out of the Texas-Louisiana border. We're actually going to be under probably partly cloudy skies, especially for about western Harris County. And then by lunchtime today, here is noon, we are all looking at clear skies. So we have about 1 more hour that we're going to continue to monitor the potential of strong to severe thunderstorms that we could quickly see any rotation or a quick spin up as far as a tornado goes. And if that is the case, we will cut on air on TV immediately. We'll also be streaming this live for you so you can get those latest updates as well. Right now it looks like the strongest storms are moving right through Harris County. So this is 290 moving from Cypress, Jersey Village. Let me move across the northwest beltway there, and that's what's going to start to move through Bammel. Here's Spring. This is all shifting again west, northwest to southeast. So probably the metro area, give this about 10-15 minutes, and that's when we're going to start to pick up some of that blinding rain. Then areas south of Missouri City, I didn't forget about you, Sugar Land into portions of Brazoria County, 288. Give this about 15 minutes towards Siena right now. That's where you're seeing some heavy rain that's headed your way. And then once we get into Galveston Bay, we're going to have to watch the potential for any of those water spouts that, again, if they get close to land, we could see also some rotation there. So we will continue to stay on weather watch for the next hour, and if it need be, we will break in. We will show you what we are tracking here to help keep you and your family safe. And then by about lunchtime today, we are going to be in the clear. So again, more live updates to come, and if need be, we will cut in on television or digitally right here. Stay safe, everybody.